We are in our last section now of circles, 10.8 equations of circles. Hopefully you just watched the video that shows the proof behind this standard form of an equation of a circle. It just comes from the distance formula. So you do need to memorize this. It's really important. So the standard form is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where r is always our radius, and then this h and this k is the center of the circle. So in your equation, you'll fill in numbers for h, k, and r, and you'll leave x and y in your equation every time. So let's look at an example here. Got 3 of them. That's it. So first one. It says, write the equation of the circle with a center at 3, -3, and a radius of 6. So if they give you the center and a radius, those are the easiest types of problems because you just take those 3 numbers and you plug them in to our standard form. All right, so we would do first x minus h squared, where my h is going to be this value, the first one for the center, the x value. So we can even write above it h and k, and obviously this is r. So it would be x minus my h, which is 3, squared, plus y minus my k, so it's minus a negative, which I know is just plus, squared, and that equals my radius squared. So I'm going to take 6 and square it and get 36. And that's it. That's your answer. That would be the equation of the circle. Okay, let's look at another example. I could give you something like this where I give you the graph of a circle, and then from that you have to use the information to write the equation. So I know I need 2 things always to write the equation. I need the radius and I need the center of the circle. All right, so they do give me my radius, it's 2. Make a note of that. And then I can find my center there. That looks like it's the point 1, 2, 3. So center is the point 1, 3. Okay, and I know that is my h and my k. So I'll make a little note of that. So let's go ahead and fill it in for our equation. We get x minus rh, which is 1, whole thing squared, plus y minus my k, which is 3, whole thing squared, and that all equals my radius squared. So 2 squared, which is 4. And that's it. That would be my equation. All right, let's look at one more example. Actually, I think I've got some practice ones for you. Yes, I do. All right, so you guys go ahead and try this. You can pause it and check your answer. And the correct answer is C. Obviously, if my radius is 4, if I square it, that's going to give me 16. So that already narrows it down to either C or D. Okay, I think I have one more. Okay, we got a graph here. Pause this, get your answer. And the correct answer is D. Now this, let's see, it's got a radius, you can just count it, of 3. 3 squared gives you 9. Again, it narrows it down to either C or D. And then that center point is 0, 3. So if you notice, you don't have any parentheses over here because it would just be x minus 0 squared. So that just goes to x squared. And then it's a positive 3, so it's usually going to be, well, usually, it's always going to be the opposite sign of that. So a minus a positive 3. All right, let's look at our last example now. Okay, so there's a third type of problem I could give you, and that would look something like this. Okay, so this says write the equation of the circle that has its center at -3, -2, and passes through 1, -2. So think again the 2 things that you need to write the equation of the circle. It's always going to be the center, which they give us, and then the radius, which they don't give us. So that is what we have to find. All right, so if you think about this, you could even, you know, plot this out, draw it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So you don't even have to draw an x and a y axis. But I know it's going to have a center that is -3, -2. And then it passes through this point. That means that point is just somewhere on the circle. Okay, So let's put it on the circle. That's the 0.1, negative 2. So I can see that I can actually find my radius if I just find the distance between my center and this point they give me, no matter where that point is. If I find the distance between them, I will get my radius. All right, so first step, let's find the distance. Let's even write this out for your notes. Say step 1. Say find the distance between the points. To find radius. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Distance formula, which is square root of, let's go ahead and just write it out, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Now we just carefully fill in our numbers here. We got our x2. I'll just make this my second point and the center will be my first point. Okay, we can write distance equals. Okay, so that's going to become, could do 1 minus a negative 3, or 1 plus 3 squared, plus negative 2 minus a negative 2, or negative 2 plus 2, whole thing squared. Now, if you look at this, negative 2 plus 2 is 0, and then 0 squared is obviously 0. So this part goes away. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 squared gives me 16. So this is just the square root of 16, which is 4. All right, so that told me the distance between the center and this point is 4, which is just my radius. So we can write step 2. Oh, I don't have a lot of room left. Let's write it out here. Step 2, we'll write our equation using our h and k as the center point and r for my radius as 4. Write equation, fix up a little bit, using h equals negative 3, k equals negative 2, that's my center point, and r equals 4. And we'll put final answer over here since I'm running out of room. So that would be, I would do x minus negative 3, so x plus 3 squared plus y minus, what is it, negative 2, so y plus 2 squared, all equals my radius squared. So 4 squared gives me 16. And there's my equation. You should be able to work on some example problems now from your worksheet.